Hello, it's the 25th of September 2023, and welcome to Swapping Joysticks. I'm your host, Biggest Bennis, and joining me as always is
Me?
Ed_Knights with
That's
an N.
me.
How are you doing, Ed?
I'm quite tired.
You're very tired. Yeah, I can tell. You were just sat here yawning just before the podcast started. Why are you so tired?
Because somebody decided to get up at 6 a.m. and watch the Japanese F1 and set a really loud alarm.
Oh, it hardly woke me up.
Really?
Yeah, I had to. Luckily, I realised what it was.
Well, it woke me up on a Sunday morning.
Well, at least you went back to sleep.
Just about.
Yeah. Oh, well, at least you're not grumpy about it.
No.
And then you went out and spent the day out and about.
Yes, I've had a nice brunch. And then we came back and we have cleaned the flat and relaxed. And I am doing my best to just feel chilled for a bit.
Are you good at chilling?
No, not at all.
But, well, tomorrow we're going to be booking our holiday for the end of November, hopefully. That'll be a good time to relax.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to a week of just relaxing?
I don't know how to do nothing.
No, that's true.
So I need to find something to fill my time.
Read? That can be
Yeah.
a thing. Like, people make suggestions. What can Ed do? Because we're hopefully going to, like...
Yes, please tell me what I should do.
We're hopefully going to... Do you want to say where we're going?
No.
Oh, we're off to some fancy island somewhere.
We're going to go sit by a pool. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, but it's a very nice, relaxing island somewhere that's quite warm in the winter because it's going to be November, and yeah, it's all inclusive and it's just going to be chilled.
Indeed.
And yeah, I've never, to be honest, like only 2 years ago, I'd have been like, that sounds like hell, and I will be bored and despise it. But now I'm like, you know what? No, I'm actually quite looking forward to it. I'm actually quite looking forward to it being all inclusive.
Yeah, you don't have to think about anything.
Don't even think about spending money and just get drunk if you're bored.
That will happen.
Yeah.
That will definitely happen.
Maybe I'll
on the cocktails.
Yeah, I hope they do cocktails because then I can try all the different ones and then finally find out what cocktails I like because I have no idea. I just go for a margarita. I have no idea what.
Well, yeah, I knew that was your
cocktails-
favourite. Have you not had other cocktails?
Not really.
Oh, Ben.
I've had a Long Island iced tea, but it doesn't taste like iced tea.
No, it's like everything from the top shelf poured in.
Ugh.
I'm not a big fan of it.
I quite like Bucks Fizz.
That's not a cocktail.
It is because it's mimosa. Is it mimosa?
Yeah.
But different proportions.
It's
we know
champagne and orange juice for anyone who doesn't know what Bucks Fizz is.
Yeah.
That's not a cocktail.
Is it not?
No, I feel like a cocktail needs at least 3 ingredients in it.
I feel like a cocktail has a name. Like vodka and orange is not a cocktail, but Sex on the Beach is. Is Sex on the Beach 2? I don't know what that is.
The sequel.
What? See, Sex on the Beach will be what we're having if we have too many cocktails.
Sex on the Beach 2 is what you just said.
Oh, well, what is Sex on the Beach? Is that also 2? Is that 2?
No, that's more than two ingredients if that's what you're aiming for. I actually can't remember what's in the Sex on the Beach. I think it's vodka and some sort of fruit juice.
I like a sour, like a pisco sour. Is that a cocktail?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I like, yeah,
Or an amaretto sour.
Yeah.
Or a whiskey sour.
Yeah. Not so. I think I actually don't like sours that much. I think I
You
prefer.
love sour flavours.
I love sour like sweets and things, but drink sours it feels a bit bitter.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not exactly what I want, but I will drink it. I'm trying to think what.
Sure.
What's your favorite cocktail?
Amaretto sour, probably.
Okay.
Or if I want something long and refreshing, it's usually a mojito because I'm a basic bitch.
Yeah. What about if you want to get really wasted? Which I know it very rarely happens.
That would never happen.
If you were like, I need to drink.
Literally anything.
Okay.
Anything will get me drunk. Like, I'm a lightweight.
That's true.
But I will choose to have a couple of nice cocktails rather than some cheap crap for the sakes of getting drunk.
Yeah. I realised, because we've another reason why we're quite tired. We've been to an amazing wedding of 2 friends of ours.
Yes.
But yeah, I
think we're still recovering. Just
at the reception.
not
I
because it was super drunken, but just it's been a really long few days.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I felt a little bit, not necessarily hungover, but I was a little bit like sicky, headachy from drinking, and I was like, I don't normally feel like that. And then I realised that I had beer, and then I had a gin and tonic, and then also our friend Gary got Prosecco. So
Mixing.
Don't mix.
Don't mix your drinks.
It gives you a headache.
It's a really bad idea.
I think I've gone off beer, which is probably good, actually. I think I'm more into wine now.
Oh, you're a classy bitch.
I am. Well, I switch around. Like eventually, I will become tolerant to it. So then I need to switch it up and then go for something else.
Do you do that with men as well?
I don't think I'll ever be tolerant of you.
Okay, good.
Don't worry. But yeah, no, we went to an amazing wedding in Bristol with Jem and Liz.
Cheers.
Jizz, yes, that is the only name that they would like to go by.
Yes.
And with us being Ben and Ed, they sort of say bed, so we always joke it's jizz on the bed.
Yeah. As you should.
Yeah, well, no, actually, put a towel down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was amazing. That was in Bristol. I really like Bristol. There were some American people that had visited there, or Canadians that were visiting for the first time in the UK, and I thought that was like it's quite a nice place to show what like just a British city or a small British city, and then the countryside where the wedding was also a nice, just picturesque, lots of greenery.
Yeah. Where the actual ceremony was very typical British green grass, churches, village kind of vibe. Very
Vicar of Dibley.
Yes. So very much what Americans and Canadians, I think, expect of Britain.
Yeah, and if you are
nice.
Canadian or American or from any other place that isn't the UK, and you've never seen the Vicar of Dibley, then I definitely recommend you try.
Oh, 100%. Amazing show.
It is really good. But yeah, so how did you find it?
It was great. It was lovely to meet Twitch friends, some of which for the first time.
Yes.
In person, which was really nice. So yeah, it's always good fun to go to a wedding, isn't it?
Yeah. There were a couple of people that we met who I was introduced to as friends or partners of people there, and something had come up, and then I would explain something that I'd done on stream maybe, or something that I did, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I know, I watch." It was so, I was like, "Oh, I feel really bad," because then I didn't, because obviously I don't know them if they look.
Well, that's the interesting thing with Twitch, but I think also just with social media in this day and age is that a lot of the time you know someone from a profile, or you know someone because you've watched them on stream, but as a streamer you just see a load of names in the chat, so you don't know what people look like.
Yeah.
And then people are like, "Oh yeah, I know who you are," and I'm like, "I've got no idea who you are." And then most people but yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of awkwardness, or it's like, oh, they'll say their name and you're like, what? And then they say their username. You're like, oh, okay, now I recognize you.
A lot of the time it's like, I know that person because I know their partner or their good friend. So I know them, and like I know their name because of what they've been, their friend has said about them. But then you have like this picture in your head, and then you actually meet them and you're like, oh, you're a human, but you are a real human being. You're not, just a name that this person mentions.
Yeah. I feel like we need to go around with like a name tag with your username on there. And then you're like, oh, you're literally putting a face to the name. And I feel like that's even at like stuff like TwitchCon.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that of, oh, you're that person from the community that I've never met before, but now I know who you are. And it's always nice to do that and actually put a face to the name. It
was. I remember, I think it was TwitchCon Amsterdam, and they had, like, everybody gets a lanyard with their name on it, but TwitchCon Amsterdam, the lanyard, like the name on the lanyard was tiny. It was really, really small. So last year or this year in July when you went there, it was a lot bigger, and you could just kind of sneakily, if you weren't quite sure who somebody was, it is a real skill, and I still haven't mastered it, trying to look at somebody's name, like lanyard, without them noticing while they're talking to you. Because
you've forgotten their name, and then you're like, oh God, I'm talking to you, and I don't know what your name is, and I need to like quickly look down, oh yeah, that's who you are, and hope that they don't notice.
Yes. But then you really see that, awkward. And then you see them doing it to you, and you're like, oh, I can't have left an impression. But no, but the first year, well, TwitchCon Amsterdam, it was so small, like everybody was doing it, but it was so obvious because everyone's like squinting their eyes trying to work out who. And my name, Biggest Menace, is quite a long name compared to some other usernames, so it was even smaller.
You're also very tall, so you're quite noticeable.
True, but also, yeah, I mean, the lanyard was like their eye level.
Yeah, that does make it easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, for them it does, not for me. Trying to look down and see. Looks like I'm... And also, as well, yeah, when there are like female presenting streamers and you're there staring at their chest to try and see the name on their lanyard, that's... Yeah, another hurdle that we have to kind of navigate.
Just have to be polite about it.
Who are you? Yeah. And what do you do?
What do you do successfully?
Exactly, yeah. But that's yeah. So that was the wedding. That was really nice.
Yeah,
And the
it's been a
rain
really nice
kind
few
of
days.
held out. It was only a little bit rainy when it, but it was fine.
Yes. I look forward to seeing all the pictures as well.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them already, and they were really, really good. Yeah, there was a lot of because the photographer was queer
A
photographer.
professional photographer. Who knew the pictures would be good?
A professional queer photographer. Not that they can't. I mean, that of course it would be. But like, she was really, really good.
Yeah.
Might have to, if I have an event, have to hire her
Mm.
for anything.
But amongst all that, we've also played some video games.
We have played some video games, some really relaxing, chilled video games.
That never
Is what
happens.
I've been playing. But Ed, what have you been playing?
Definitely not chilled, relaxing games. What have I been playing? Well, let's start with something I actually played a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
But it only went up on Eurogamer.net last week.
because this is also children. This was also kind of like sent you wild, didn't it? But in a different way.
In a different way, yes. This is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Now, which side game is this?
Which side game?
Is that the mobile one? Is that the one with Zach?
No.
What is it?
What?
I'm leading it till you can explain what it is.
I see what you're trying to do here. It's the sequel to Remake. We all know that. Well, I think we do. So yes, PS5. It is the sequel to Remake. It's the next bit of the story. It was shown at the Tokyo Game Show, and also was shown at last week's PlayStation State of Play, or was it the week before? Whenever it was, the most recent State of Play. So they showed a new trailer with loads of new details, and I was watching it being like, oh, I've already played it, but I can't say yet. So that was fun. So yeah, there have been various new details that have come out of it in terms of new characters. Vincent's back at some point, which would be cool.
Who was he again?
He's the vampire.
Oh, yes, actually, I do remember because I did get him, I think, on my.
Well, I
so
hope
far.
you did.
Yes, it wasn't
You
quite
need
easy
to play it
miss.
again, and I
Yeah.
will tell you where to go.
That's literally one thing I'm gonna do on holiday. I'm gonna be taking my Switch and I will be restarting Final Fantasy VII.
Excellent. And I will try not to watch you over your shoulder.
You better not. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing it.
Yes.
So I'm not playing it on the TV where you can just sit and tut.
Oh, well, tut.
Mm.
I will tut very hard. So you are still aware of Remake. You loved Remake. Rebirth is the follow-up. It continues straight off where Remake ended, with the gang leaving Midgar, the big city.
Because there are quite a few games already in that series. It's turning into Kingdom Hearts a bit, isn't it? Where you've got the main ones, then you've got Crisis Core, and then there's Intergrade, and then there's what's the mobile one called again?
Ever Crisis.
Ever Crisis. So it's becoming a
I mean,
world.
it's always been a saga.
Yeah.
There's always been a lot, spin-offs, because 7 is. I don't think it's the highest selling single player Final Fantasy game, but it's definitely up there.
Mm.
It is definitely considered one of the best because it is the best. So it continues on Rebirth, and I got to play it for an hour. Essentially, it's more of the same.
Is that bad?
No.
Oh.
It's a very good thing. I really, really like Remake. I really like the battle system. I love the character designs. I love what they've done with the world. Yes, they sort of padded out Midgar into a longer thing, but with Rebirth, it is finally taking us out into the open world. And what's really cool is that the original game was a world map, which was sort of just blurry blues and greens, sort of suggestive of places. This is a proper open world game, and with big open world map areas, of which I got to explore one of them in a place which I called Junon, and apparently it's Junon, which is just like Mako and Mako being the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Now that it's fully voice acted, you sort of understand the proper pronunciation and realize that I've been doing it wrong for all these years. So I'm still going to say Junon. So it was the outskirts of Junon as this open world area, and it's just, instead of it being blues and greens, it's a proper wasteland of like toxic waste and metal garbage and crap everywhere, and then little rabbits running through.
Stockport.
It's Stockport, exactly. So it's just really cool to see this world that I've played through for years on PS1 graphics and finally see this huge open world just properly detailed. So it feels amazing to explore. There are loads of, or there were going to be loads of side activities, loads of extra mini games. They showed us in the trailer the Gold Saucer, which looks incredible. So there's loads of really cool stuff that's happening. I got to play through some story bits, which are slightly tweaked from the original.
Yeah, well, like I say, if, the 7, the one that you played, maybe that's an alternate universe, and there it is called Junon.
I mean, in my head, it will still be called Junon.
Okay.
We'll see. So I really enjoyed what I played. I was ever so slightly disappointed. Just in that I don't think the bits that we got to play were necessarily the most exciting.
Okay.
So what they showed us was, yes, this is remake, but it's bigger and better. It's open world. The combat is flashier. It's got these synergy attacks, which is just an extra layer in the middle of combat. It's a little bit superfluous. They look cool. It's an extra thing to do. It's not going to add loads of strategy to it, I don't think.
Okay, so they're not overcomplicating it, because I feel like when it was God of War, like the second one came out, and they added like different skill trees for different people, and it just became a bit too much, and I could not be asked. Do you feel like it's avoided that, or
that's not? No, I didn't really get that from this. Like the synergy attacks, basically, it is there to try and encourage you to alternate between characters. So as you use characters' abilities, which is just any of the abilities, you gain a synergy point. And once 2 characters have got at least 2, most of them were 2 synergy points each, you can then use that to do a synergy attack, which is just like an extra layer, basically, to the combat. And it's cool, it's flashy. I spent a lot of time purposely trying to sort of tick off the synergy attacks that I wanted to see. So I was trying to switch between the specific characters to see them. I think in the natural flow of combat, some will come up as you switch characters. It's just I was very purposefully trying to see them, which felt a bit forced. But that's just the nature of a preview, and it felt a little bit overwhelming just because there was this extra option I really wanted to see. I think in the flow of the game, it will be fine. It's just, it was a lot. For like half an hour that I got to play of that bit, it was just, there was a lot to take in.
Does the game kind of stop and it's like a big kind of, finishing move when you do these synergy attacks, or are they just...
Yeah, it's like a full sort of animated thing.
So is it a little bit like, Xenoblade Chronicles? When you have that bit where you kind of work together and, you do these like ultimate attacks with all the different people?
Yeah, it's like in the original games where you would summon, and then the summon gives you a little cutscene that's like a really cool sort of thing that's a nice reward. It sort of feels like that. I mean, it's not as long as the summons are, they're pretty short, but it's just a nice sort of flashy combo thing. There's one between Aerith and Red 13, and they sort of step up and she tickles his chin, and then they like shoot a load of like magic explosive stuff, and just nice little interactions between the characters, which is cool. I got to play as Red 13, who is the sort of lion, tigery, cat beast thing. He's really cool. He's really scrappy, as you would expect, because he's an animal.
Yeah.
So he's a nice addition to the party. It just sort of felt like more of the same, and that's a great thing, but it wasn't like, I didn't feel like utterly wowed by it. But then I saw the trailer and saw Gold Saucer and saw Vincent and Kate Sith and all the others, and was like, okay, that's really cool, and I can't wait to see that. It's just that the small preview bit we got to see, they just didn't really show the most exciting bits. And I think for me, what is most exciting about Rebirth is, what are they going to change with the story? Which obviously they're not going to reveal in a little preview. They want people to play that when it comes out. So I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to change, because Remake set up a lot of changes in that this is essentially a sort of sequel rather than a remake, and it's like a different universe, basically, of a different series of events. So I'm really excited to see what happens. They have also said the point that this game will stop, which is at a very pivotal point, which if you get my tone, you'll know what I mean. There's a very pivotal thing, but they have also changed the order. So it might be their stuff from later on that's now been moved earlier. So I'm really it's that I'm most interested in. Like, yes, combat's good. Of course it's going to be good. Yes, the music's great. Of course it's going to be good. Yes, it looks beautiful. It looks even better than 16 does, because of course it does. So it was great, but I expected those things. What I want to know is the unexpected of what they're changing in the story.
Yeah.
And we're only going to know that when we actually get to play it. So I absolutely loved playing it. I'm really privileged that I got to play it. I'm really excited to play more. but it's the story stuff that I really, really want to know about.
Brilliant. Well, I'm very much looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, it's early next year. It's February. We know now.
29th of February.
29th of February. So not a huge amount of time to wait.
Actually, no. Yeah, it's nearly Christmas.
Yeah. So that'll be Game of the Year next year, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
He says now.
Who knows what's going to come out next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so brilliant. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said with you before, when a game gets announced, I'm like, okay, great. We know it's coming out. That's good. I'm going to wait for it. And that's it.
Yeah, you don't want to know anything else.
I don't need to know anything else. Like at the moment, they've just did are you in the news later? Did you include a game that I'm very much going to be looking forward to playing?
No, because I figured you'd bring it up, so you can bring it up now.
I brought it up now, yeah. So they've announced that the Division 3 is in development in a really strange way. It just came out in like a press release. They didn't have a trailer.
How old school?
It was old school, and I'm like, should I be worried that it's just kind of like that, or is it going to be like some kind of free to play MMO?
It's gonna be some nonsense.
Yeah. Or have they learned from the Division 2's mistakes and they're going to go back to like what made Division 1 great and then use that in the third one? That's what I really, really hope. But yeah, no, like I want more information from that. And I cannot wait to get loads more information about it, like where it's set, what the different things. So like that kind of game I want to know a lot so that I have kind of all this information when I go into it. But when it's kind of a story game or a game that I know exactly what it's going to be, like 7 Remake, pretty much. I know what it's going to be. You know, it's a great story, great battles, summons, you know, Aerith, Tifa, and all that. I don't need to know anymore.
And all that.
Yeah, and I want to be surprised. I don't need to know. I don't need to watch all the cutscenes.
Fair enough.
I will be surprised. So there's another game that we've both been playing.
Yes.
Yes.
No word of a lie.
That's true. Ed, how's your pee organ?
My
I can see it in those grey joggers today.
My pee organ is throbbing.
I can tell. You are wearing very tight joggers.
Oh, you can shut up.
He is.
I'm really not.
You are.
I'm really not. Yes, Lies of P.
Yes.
Or Liza P. As we like to call it. Liza P. Yeah, I am intrigued to hear your thoughts on it because I played the demo that came out over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I also played it at Gamescom. So I started it on stream and I'm going to be streaming that for the next few weeks, each Monday, if you don't already follow.
Twitch.tv/ed_nights. That's twitch.tv/ed_nights. Don't forget to subscribe to get ad-free viewing.
Thanks, Ben.
No problem. And also to donate when he does
Stream It Beat It.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. So I'm playing on stream, but what I played this week on stream is the beginning of the game, which is what the preview demo was. So I haven't actually seen anything new. So for me so far, it's great. I'm really enjoying it. I don't feel like it's hugely different. It's slightly tweaked, but not hugely different from the demo. But I really want to get further into it to see the other bosses, to see how the P organ develops and all of that stuff. So I'm enjoying it, but I would like to hear your thoughts because you played it for a bit and you're brand new to it.
I am, and yeah, you were sat next to me, judging me, which is actually quite good. You were playing a game, so you were.
Yeah, I was sat playing Pikmin on handheld, so.
Yeah, I really want to play those games. I really want to be good at them, and I really like the idea of them. And I love a game that's kind of like the combat is just really well done, and once you've mastered that, you can, you get full control of it. But it's like the learning curve of those type of games that can take me a little bit longer. Like I played it for maybe an hour, 2 hours.
About an hour, yeah.
Yeah, about an hour. Fought the first like major boss and beat it, and then got to the next part and then stopped. But that boss took me quite a few tries, and there were so many moments in there where I'm like, I'm not really learning. Like one of the things is you really need to get the parry. And so many times, even in like the final one where I ended up beating it, I was missing. I was too early. I was just too late. And I was like, is it me?
You did throw a strop at one point and you turned it off and you walked off.
I was close to deleting it, but I thought you might want to have it on the PlayStation in there.
Yes. And then you came back and you're like, no, I'm going to try again. And you did it eventually.
I did do it, but I wasn't really paying attention when I beat it. So I was just like, oh, it's dead now. Right. I didn't have the kind of, screaming, fucking yeah, get in, like when you beat an Armored Core boss.
All right.
But it like I enjoy the combat in it. It is very much a Souls game in that kind of combat. sneaking around. You've got your stamina. You're sneaking up on people, shanking them, and then you rest at your little bonfire or whatever it's called, and it resets your
Stargazer.
yeah something like
Stargazer.
that. And then they all respawn, and then you cash in your souls that are not called souls.
Ergo.
So it's very, very much follows those type of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked it. I thought it played really well. I was playing it 60 FPS or whatever it is on PlayStation and on the OLED. It looked great, and I like the style a lot more than I thought I did when I saw you playing the demo. Because when I saw you playing the demo, I was like, oh, it's like a kind of a polished Bloodborne, but with no kind of atmosphere. I still think atmosphere in a Souls game is way better than in there.
Yeah. Like the thing is that FromSoft made the Souls genre with the Souls games, and you just can't beat FromSoft. Like they do it so well, and it's funny when I spoke to the game director of Liza P at Gamescom, and he said, we specifically want to beat FromSoft at their own game, and I don't think they've managed it.
No, but in Demon Souls, when you go
trying.
when you're in Demon Souls, when you go up to the castle gates and you look up, and it's like that. There's a similar place that I've just got to, the hotel or whatever it's called, and you look up and you're like, it's nothing like that. Obviously, it's smaller, but it just doesn't have that kind of atmosphere and sheer horror. And it's the what's the name of the guy, the author based on?
Pinocchio.
Souls games.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, what was the
Miyazaki?
racist? No, Miyazaki, not the racist. The guy that the Bloodborne's based on, and
Tentacles. Lovecraft.
Lovecraft, yes. So obviously Souls very Lovecraftian, or at least Bloodborne.
Bloodborne is Souls.
Bloodborne's okay.
Well, maybe a touch, but Bloodborne is where Lovecraft comes in. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, obviously Liza P is not in the slightest. It's just like a very kind of clean Victorian England.
Yeah.
Which is
French.
Is it French?
It's a bit more Parisian. I think it's Belle
Époque.
Oh, okay. Belle Époque.
It is very clean.
Yeah, it is very much. It's interesting seeing the reviews for it because the reviews have been a bit mixed, and I think some people have just looked at it as, oh, it's a Souls clone, and they're looking for more. And for me, yes, it is very much in that template, but I do appreciate the small tweaks that it's made to sort of make it its own. As much as it looks very Bloodborne-y, it actually plays quite Sekiro-y. And I do think combat has its own kind of rhythm. The visuals have its own kind of style. So I do appreciate that. I need to get further into it before I can evaluate how good that is necessarily and how successful they've been.
Yeah, I want to see what this P organ is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all want to see a good P organ.
We do, yeah.
And I want to see how combat develops because what I played, again, I keep comparing to what I played at Gamescom, but I played a boss there that was a lot later than what's at the start of the game that we've obviously played. And I think I've basically done like 3 bosses between the demo and Gamescom. And I sort of used the same strategy for every single one of just like learning the moves, learning to perfect block, and just learning the timing. And then you get them groggy and you do your charged attack to stun them, and that does loads of damage. And I've kind of just used that same strategy every time. And what I do like about FromSoft's bosses is each boss really is a test of your skill in a different way, and they do vary things. And a lot of the bosses are just set pieces, and there's maybe a specific way of doing it to give you a bit of a set piece, or it's just a different test of your skills. And from what I've seen of Liza P, I'm not sure if the bosses necessarily give you that sense of progression, and that's really what I'm looking to see. So I will absolutely keep playing it. Are you going to carry on, or did you beat the boss and you're like, I'm done with it now?
See, I did write that, and I said, I'm done with it. But I feel like if I'm in the mood for one of those games, and sometimes I am, I would go back to that one. Like I wouldn't go. I think it respects your time more than something like Demon Souls. I know you're going to disagree, but I don't want to run. I've mentioned this a million times. I'm not going to run through a whole level just to fight a boss a second time. I want that save point to be directly outside the boss thing, the boss area, or at least somewhere that I can run to in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I just don't have the time to go and beat a load of mini things that might end up hitting me and like causing me to lose my health. No, if I'm beating a boss and I die to that boss after, a lot of stress and hardship, then I want to be able to go and fight it straight away again.
That's fair.
And I do like the fact that they put your souls outside of the boss area, or whatever they call the Ergo.
Yes.
So if you do want, so like I fought that giant clown, was it, or ringmaster?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I beat it. Oh, I died quite early on, and I was level 12, and I was like, you know what, I might go and just do a one little clear of the area and see if I can level up once, and I did, and I leveled up once more, and it felt a little bit better. And then I like put it into my stamina, so I was able to kind of resist their attacks more. The one thing that did really piss me off when I was playing it, and maybe it's just a me thing, is so when they are like staggered, they're kind of staggered, but they still attack you. What's it called? Like in a staggerable state.
Basically, the more you and this is, I think, the way that the developers want you to play it, is that you learn the attack patterns so that you can perfect block. And the more you perfect block and attack at the same time, you will see the health bar turn white. And when that happens, you have to charge up. They will still hit you.
Yes.
But you have to charge up one of your heavy attacks. And when you strike them, then they turn groggy, and then you can do a critical hit on them. And that is the way to play it, I think. But that means A, you have to really be good at perfect blocking and learn timing. And B, you have to charge up your heavy attack at just the right moment, because they can still hit you. And if you don't quite get it right, then you miss out, and then you've got to go back to stunning them again and go through the cycle again. So you've got to really get the timing right on that.
That really annoyed me, because the heavy attack that you have to charge, you can't move when you're doing that. But if you've got a boss that's running around all over the place, then by the time you've charged it, it's not in your area of attack. And the area of attack, when I was attacking them, it seems very, very close to where you are. So if it's just, a slightly outside of it, if it's slightly too far away, then you've missed it and wasted your opportunity. And even when I beat it, I think I missed maybe 2 or 3 of those in total in the boss fight, and it just annoyed me.
Yeah. But when you get it right, it does feel really good.
Well, good.
I think
it does, because then you can also use that weird triangle move as well that does extra.
That also helps, damage. Your Fable art, I think they are.
Mm.
I think the real test is going to be, not the real test, but another test will be when Lords of the Fallen comes out. Because that is another Souls-like. But that, for me, is literally Dark Souls with a different name. And I think people will maybe play that and enjoy it, but then appreciate more that Lies of P is actually doing something different. And it is more different to Souls than Lords of the Fallen is, I think.
Yeah, it's more Bloodborne and Sekiro, I would say. Great.
For sure.
Some people have complained about Lies of P being really difficult, though, but the great thing I like about Lies of P, which you didn't get in Sekiro, is that you can grind it if you want. I don't know how much you can grind your P organ, because when you level that up, it gives you some other boosts and bonuses. But like your actual level of your character, unless there's some kind of level cap that's slightly low, and then you have to use your P organ, whatever, to level up, I don't know. But if you can just keep leveling your character and like clear out certain areas and just grind away to make it easier for you, then I can't see the massive complaint in difficulty.
I mean, that's the same with any Souls game. You can always grind, but it's just you need some skill to learn enemy patterns and get through. And this is very much that.
Brilliant. All right, what else have we been playing?
There's another game that we've also both played.
Oh.
And this is the one that frustrated me 10 times more than Lies of P has.
I've never seen you get so angry, especially when all of us that were playing it with you were not angry at all. We were just like having fun and enjoying it.
Oh, I had a small amount of fun with people, but playing on my own was when I was incredibly frustrated.
Why are you angry?
And this is Party Animals. Now, this is a game that's been a few years coming.
2020, we played the demo.
Yeah, I was going to say, you played the demo ages ago.
Oh, did you never play that?
No. I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
It is it was, until it came out, one of the most wishlisted games on Steam. So a lot of people have been very much looking forward to this game. It is a silly party game with terrible controls and
similar to Gang Beasts, then.
And clunkiness. Yes, similar to Gang Beasts, which I honestly never really liked that much. I've played it with you and people on stream because it's silly fun. For me, it is a game that lacks any form of skill. It is just button mashing randomness, and I do not approve of it. Yes, it's because I lost. So I am just not a massive fan of this kind of game anyway. And Party Animals sort of felt like a slightly more polished version of what Gang Beast was doing.
It is. It's Gang Beast, but with weapons and I'm trying to think less destructible environments. But yeah, like it's just yeah, very much a more polished with weapons, with like extra things that Gang Beasts didn't have. Like for example, when you die, you can still throw fish or throw bombs or fling things at the enemies.
There are a couple of things I really
the
like
others.
about it, and that's one of them. So if you get knocked out and everyone else is still playing, you have this sort of coin meter, and then you can spend 2, 3, or 4 coins as it slowly goes up
Yeah.
on a fish or a bomb or
Banana.
a banana
Yeah.
to slip them up. So you can kind of still interact and have some sort of sway on combat.
Yeah.
And I really like
Which
that.
I did a few times. It's great.
The other thing I really like is when you finish a match and then there's the camera and you're all fighting to get your picture taken at the end. I really like that. I think that's a really fun touch. I actually think it's the weapons that there's a few things I don't like. I think the weapons are one of them. And I think it's because the sort of clunkiness of controls and the wonky physics are also attached to the weapons. So things like when you walk up to a weapon, you press the grab button to pick up the weapon, but then your stupid little animal will grab like the floor or someone near it, or they'll grab it with one hand when they need to grab it with two, and do everything
I didn't have that
except
problem.
grab the weapon with 2 hands in order to shoot it. Like every time I pick up a weapon, it just doesn't grab it, and you've got to sort of, you end up flinging it around because you have to hold, say it's a tennis racket, right? You have to hold the handle of the tennis racket with 2 of your hands, and sometimes the character just grabs something else even though you're right next to the handle, or just little things like that that just make it overly frustrating. And I'm like, if I want to pick up a weapon, I want the controls to respond to that. And I get that it's meant to be fun and wonky and slapstick and whatever. It's not fun to me if the controls don't do what I want them to do. That's not fun to me.
It's not a fighting game though. It's just a little cute party game.
But it's not.
It is.
No.
It's a cute party game. You don't need to be great at it. It's just about taking part. That's the fun part.
No, it's not.
I had no problem with the weapons when you were like climbing up the submarine, and I just fired those arrows at your face.
You were cackling at me like a fucking serial killer.
Yeah, you were like hanging onto the edge of the submarine, and I was there with a crossbow, and I must have hit you about 8 times.
Yeah.
They were all sticking off you like a acupuncture
I was
victim.
absolutely fuming.
It was brilliant.
It wasn't.
But yeah, no, everybody that I know absolutely loves it, except for you. You're the only person because you're ridiculously competitive, and if a game is not something that you can then excel at, and become like one of the greatest, then you don't like it.
The thing is,
we could analyze you.
Look, I will admit a lot of this is me. Like, I am too competitive, and this is not a game that is good for my mental health.
It's not a competitive game. It's a party game.
But I don't do parties.
It's literally called Party Animals.
But I will also admit I am very much a single player, story driven person. Like, I don't like multiplayer games that much.
I think we've established that.
But there are some multiplayer games that I do like, and there are some multiplayer games that for me are party games. Mario Kart for me is a party game. Smash Brothers is a party game. But and there are elements in that to give you a level playing field. So the fact that there's a blue shell so that people at the back can catch up to people at the front of the pack in Mario Kart, I'm fine with that because the weapons are there to level people. And yes, sometimes it's a bit random and it can be very chaotic. But if you have enough skill as a driver, as a racer, you can still win. It's the same with Smash Brothers. There are loads of items and it can be very chaotic and random. But if you've got the skill to dodge and know the right moves, you can still win. Party Animals is just button mashing shite.
Well, it just lets other people play it and lets other people have a chance at winning.
I don't want other people to have a chance at winning. I want people to learn to have some skill so that then I can have some skill and we can skillfully beat one another. And not just be like, oh, well, the controls fucked up for me and they didn't for you, so I guess you win now.
But that makes it fun.
It doesn't make it fun at all.
You can see someone's trying to do something and then they completely fail at it and then they get kicked in the face and knocked out. It's good fun.
Well, that's the other thing is that it's meant to be like slapstick comedy, and slapstick comedy's funny when it's happening to someone else. Like, Mr. Bean falls over and we all laugh. But is Mr. Bean laughing? No, he's fucking pissed off because he fell over. That's how I feel playing Party Animals.
Oh,
Everyone's laughing at me and I'm like, great, well, I fucked up and it wasn't even my fault.
yeah. If anyone's laughing at you, it's not a situation you want to be in. Well, maybe not every game's for everybody. I think you need to understand that.
Genuinely, I find Souls games 10 times less stressful than Party Animals.
Doesn't sound like it. Actually, no, it does. Yeah, you were screaming real obscenities at people who were not in the living room with you.
It's a good job I wasn't on voice chat.
It's very much a good job. Yeah, I cannot believe you would come out with some of those words.
Yeah, it's just not for me.
And you were like
It's
in
really
an
not for
angry
me.
mood for a good few hours afterwards.
Yeah,
You went to bed
really
quiet.
makes me really, really angry, that game.
Yeah. Don't play it ever again, please. Well, you can watch. I think it's okay if you watch.
I don't understand why people find it fun.
Because we don't really care that much about winning. We're not so obsessed with it. It's like, it's not, we don't feel emasculated if we lose a game on it.
Feel emasculated.
We don't feel.
It's not about gender.
We
It's
don't
about winning.
We don't feel like we're losers or that we've lost our, we're losing face when we lose one of these battles. We're just having fun and we're having a glass of wine with it and we're kicking people. And yeah, if Moni, one of our mods, just, shoots a thing at me, electrocutes me, and I fall off and into the depths of the ocean and die, people find that funny. I'm like, oh God, that's annoying. But I can hear them cackling, which makes me laugh. Because sometimes if your friends are laughing, it's fun for you as well.
But what's also annoying is that it doesn't have like a big group play. So I would much rather it was maybe 4 of us in a room sat together playing on one TV screen.
No, you would punch us. You would punch people in person, Ed.
Well, no, because when you're there in person, you're sort of having a laugh about it.
You punched me in the arm.
I would never do that.
Definitely did.
I feel like that's the party atmosphere in the room, and you don't get that when you're playing with people online. So I just feel annoyed at the game.
Maybe we need to go into Discord next time, because I don't think we didn't then. So you were just dealing with smug me.
I want to play it again when I have had a good sleep and I'm in a better mood, because I think and after we've had a holiday, because I think I'm just stressed with life and things like it's always stupid things that make me stressed. And I appreciate that Party Animals is really, really stupid. It is a stupid game
for stupid people.
No, I didn't go that far. It's a stupid game, and I need to be in a more positive mood.
Yeah, positive mood. Yeah, I think you do. So let's go back to it once you've had a holiday. No, because that's going to be a while.
I don't have time for that. I need to write about it.
You're going to write about it?
Well, I have to.
Yeah. Well, we'll play some maybe on Wednesday or something. Yeah, so good luck with that. It's weird because it's on Game Pass, but it's only on Xbox Game Pass. It's not on PC Game Pass. I hate it when it does that.
Yeah, it is crossplay with Steam as well.
Yeah. So yeah, play it on Steam. But yeah, when I logged in, it gave me, because I've got, there we go. There's dinner. When I've got, in fact, no, lunch. When I logged in, I got a million different prizes, or a million different things that were unlocked. Mainly for like the pre-order bonus. I got the deluxe bonus. But I also got a bunch because I'd played the demo back in, played the demo in 2020, which was kind of cool. So yeah, I think the characters look great in it, and you can stylize them. There is a paid part of it.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's another thing that I do actually really like about it. I think the characters are adorable. They're really fun character designs. There are loads of costumes that you can dress them up as, and the more you play, you unlock all these different costumes. And I really like that. I really like the graphic style. One other thing that I actually don't like, and this is not just me, is that I think the camera's too close.
Yeah, but you can turn it around fully, which is weird.
You can rotate it, but you can't zoom out. And for me, it's too close that I feel like I can't see everyone. And so I feel like I want it to be a little bit further back so I can see the full battlefield, I guess. That's one thing. That's a technical thing that does annoy me a little bit. But I really like the style of it. I love the graphics.
If you don't see somebody and all of a sudden they chuck a bomb at you out of...
No, because I want to see them, so I've got the ability to dodge. Okay. But yes, there is also a store, and you can pay real money to get the in-game currency to spend on different costumes.
Which is also, it is a full price game on Steam.
Yes.
Well, full price. It's not $60, but it's 35 or whatever.
Yeah, it's a paid game.
But there are quite heavily microtransactions in there as well.
But only if you go to the store to look for it. And it's completely cosmetic. So it's just, do you want to look slightly different when you're playing online?
Yeah.
So you can completely ignore it. I think there is the ability to put like 60 quid's worth of, we'll buy 60 quid's worth of currency, which is a lot in one go. But hey, you can buy plenty of costumes for that. But I'm sure you can unlock most of them just from playing.
Yeah. They've also announced a collaboration with
Ori.
Ori, yes.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. Yeah, no, I do find it a bit weird when there's a game that actually costs money and then they've got like this in-game store for a lot of the stuff. So it's a little bit predatory and I don't agree with it, but that's life nowadays, unfortunately, especially for games on Game Pass. They've got to find ways to make even more money.
Yeah.
But things like, I'm happy with having a style or having one character with one outfit, and then I'm like, I will always use that. So I've got the duck with a towel.
And I will be the golden corgi.
Yeah. So
forever.
You never need to get these.
Nobody else is allowed to be the golden corgi.
Exactly. And you never need to unlock more outfits. But yeah. Some people, anybody that like wants to collect everything because they're obsessed with one of the characters or something, yeah, you're gonna have to spend money.
Yeah.
All right. I've also been playing a little bit of Moonstone Island. I'll just quickly talk about.
Tell us about that.
Well, I'll just do it very briefly because I'll probably play more in the next week. But it is. I know there's so many games that are these like cozy game genres or like indie games, and they're like a mix of Stardew mixed with Pokemon or this mixed with this. This is 100% a mix of Stardew Valley, Pokemon, and Slay the Spire. And I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's the cute. It's like a really cute art style. It's a bit more simplistic than something like Sea of Stars. It's very much more like a pixel remaster. Well, maybe not pixel, but it's quite basic. It is like an indie game, and it's like you collect animals from a cave or wherever like out in the wild when you're fighting them, and they can be recruited for you, and then you can battle against others with them. However, when you're battling, you're not doing like fight or item or whatever. You are using cards, and the card deck that you've got is then shuffled, and you get the opening card hand, and you can choose whether it's something that takes away armor, or whether it's something that attacks them, or it's something that sends them to sleep. I imagine. I haven't got that, but those kind of cards, and you can then so it becomes very, very tactical because you're like, okay, well, that person's got 2 armor. So if I use this attack that eliminates 2 armor, then I can go and use a different attack. So I have to do that first. And it makes you think a lot about it, but it is very, Slay the Spire has done that brilliantly. And I'm looking forward to, delving a bit further deeply into it over the next week at least.
Nice.
So,
and you've been playing on the Steam Deck, right?
Yeah, it is verified on the Steam Deck. I think it's only on PC. And it's actually had some really good reviews. It's like high 80s or mid 80s on OpenCritic. So seems like there's a good game there to keep playing.
That's Moonstone Island.
It is, and I will be playing it. I'll talk about it more next week, I imagine, because I bet I'll be playing. Well, actually, maybe not next week, because we've got something to mention later.
Let's just say next time.
Next time, yes.
Nice.
Okay.
So we completely forgot to ask everyone what they were playing this week.
We did.
But we will do that for next time.
What do you think people are playing? Let's play that game.
I think everyone is still playing Baldur's Gate 3.
I think there are some people, I think, maybe playing Payday 3 if they've been able to log on to the servers.
Well, if they can log in, yeah.
Yeah, that's a game I'm going to be playing at some point, but not now. I played a bit of The Division 2 earlier on PlayStation, but yeah, I've just been kind of dipping in and out. But I've re-downloaded Marvel Snap, and I'm still obsessed with that.
Of course you are.
I played a bit on PC. It runs really, really well. They've got the native app or the native game, whatever, on app on Steam now. It is all nice and widescreen. It's no longer like permanently windowed and is like kind of 16:9 vertical anymore. Like it's actually the full thing. 16:9. So or 9:16 as it would be if it's vertical. But yeah, that runs really, really well. If you've never played Marvel Snap before, just download it on your phone. If your phone's too shit, then yeah, you can now play it on PC. Or if you want to stream it, do it on there.
Very nice.
It's a great game.
Let's talk about the news, shall we?
News. So it's not just the Division 2 that's
Yes, so
announced.
that's been announced. There's another game.
Oh, Division 3, sorry. Yeah.
There's another game, also a 3, which apparently is on the way, and that is Star Wars Jedi 3.
Yes, I like that.
So Jedi Survivor was out earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
People liked it. You liked it? You played it?
I loved it. I love both of them. They're Metroidvanias, aren't they?
Yes.
See, look at me. It's a Metroidvania I like.
Sure.
It's a good one.
So Cameron Monaghan, who is the voice actor for Cal Kestis, has said that they are basically already working on a third game.
I mean, they, of course.
Which, is kind of obvious, really. But it was at Ocala Comic Con, and he was talking about that. So there is more Star Wars on the way. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thunk it?
So another thing that happened this week was some cyberpunk stuff about Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah, that was bizarre.
There was a whole rumor that he basically walked into a recording session with a gun and demanded to be in the game, which is all very weird. And then...
Was that true?
I don't think it was actually...
like an old-fashioned vintage gun, wasn't it?
Yeah, a 200-year-old gun. It's... Well,
because Grimes was recording for it, because I think she's in the game.
She is in the game, yeah. She plays a pop star in the game. And there was a tweet that essentially sort of suggested that CD Projekt had removed the Elon Musk cameo from the Corpo opening. So if you choose to be a Corpo at the beginning of the game, you start as part of a corporation.
I do quite like that one.
And basically the senior quest designer of the game, Patrick Mills, basically tweeted to say, who came up with this nonsense?
Okay.
That wasn't Elon Musk. It looks nothing like him. Who came up with this nonsense? And then he said, it's funny because I have Elon's name on my mute list. I can't even see the replies to my tweet. No big loss, I'm sure, but behave in there, kids. And then people had said if the gun story was true, and he said, I wasn't there, I don't know. Oh. But even if that's true, that doesn't mean this random Japanese guy is supposed to be him. Yeah. Because obviously.
That's the actor.
So, yeah, all of this is sort of off the back of Phantom Liberty, which is the expansion for Cyberpunk 2077, which came out this week, starring Idris Elba. And it's meant to be very, very good.
And
also Alex Jordan.
Yes. Pretty much on the same level of Idris Elba.
Of course.
But yeah, no, you've played it. So I'm currently doing a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 where I'm being a dick. And it is brilliant. I love playing as a dick. You get some great voice. I get some great replies. Like I showed you a clip of this poor woman, a poor girl that's been kidnapped, and I recognized who she was. And instead of like trying to help her, I made out that I didn't really know who she was. So the woman that was abducting her was like, "You just got one of those bland faces, very forgettable," and just like the humor in it from when you're a dick to people. And it's quite interesting because there are characters like Astarion and Shadowheart. When you're a dick to people, they're like, they approve. They think it's great. So with Cyberpunk, could I potentially do a be a dick playthrough of that as well?
No.
Oh, you could. It's not that kind of.
Well, it's not as freeform, I think. Okay. You can. It's more.
Is there a moral scale that you could then start killing innocents and stuff?
I mean, there are choices. There are missions with choices. There are various sort of branching paths in the game. I'd say the more interesting choices are more about your build. So what kind of sort of V do you want to be? Are you someone who is like more of a melee build or like different weapons or a hacker with sort of cyber abilities? It's more about your choices around that. I don't think the dialogue trees are not as extensive. I'd say it's more in line with a Fallout Starfield than it is with Baldur's Gate, I would say.
Okay. I was a bit of a dick in Starfield as well. That was quite fun. Yeah, okay. I probably won't do it on stream then.
No, I mean, I wasn't a massive fan of Cyberpunk, but they've made a load of changes. They're calling it 2.0, and a load of their changes are in the base game. You don't have to have the expansion for that.
So that's already out, that one.
Yes. So even just playing the base game with the new changes is probably going to be quite a different experience.
They've suggested restarting your game.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically, I think Cyberpunk now is the game that it always should have been when it first came out. It's taken them a good 3 years to get there.
I'm glad I've waited. Sometimes it pays.
Yeah.
I remember I got the refund. You know, when it came out and people were like, there was an actual website where you could go and get it refunded.
Yeah.
And like PlayStation pulled it from stores. God, they were the days.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that I got the refund, but then I bought it for like £25 on PlayStation in a sale not too long ago.
Yeah,
So.
it's all right.
I think it was when the expansion, when the PS5 version was coming out.
Yes, they did an update for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last time we talked a bit about Unity. They have introduced some new prices where they are charging developers for each install of their game as an extra charge, and loads of developers are kicking off and everyone is leaving Unity or like not using the game engine because of all these extra charges. They have now announced some changes to the pricing plan.
Okay.
To try and sort of appeal to people. So they have literally said sorry. So Unity's Mark Whitten has apologized. We should have spoken with more of you, and we should have incorporated more of your feedback before announcing our new runtime fee policy. Our goal with this policy is to ensure we can continue to support you today and tomorrow and keep deeply investing in our game engine. So basically the changes are that they will no longer be charging per install for any developer using Unity Personal or Unity Plus, which basically means that if you're using Unity Pro or Enterprise, which are the sort of higher level versions of Unity for big corporations, then they will have to pay. But it's only if they cross two key thresholds, which is making $1 million in gross revenue, trailing 12 months, and reaching 1 million initial engagements. So they've basically put these sort of high levels that they're the people that are going to have to pay for it. But I feel like they've just lost so much goodwill during this that everyone's going to just leave anyway.
Because so many people are saying like, oh, this is the typical thing that they do. They say something really bad, then they backpedal into something a bit smaller, so it doesn't seem as bad. I'm like, no, that would not work, because what they've done is kind of ruin their brand.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad it is.
Exactly.
So people are not going to go with Unity when they've got a choice.
Yeah. I feel like it's too little too late at this point, and they've just lost so much business.
Yeah.
It's been a complete disaster. So they can try and run back on it, but I think unless they just completely U-turn and say they're not going to do it, I don't think people are going to stick with them. So yes, that's going to be interesting. And then the last one, I kept it short today, also because I wasn't working this week, so I didn't write any of these and I'm having to catch up. So Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay, we're not going for another one.
Well, maybe you can tell another one in a minute.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate. Neil Newbin, who is the voice actor for Astarion, has claimed that there is a whole 2-hour secret section in the game that no one's found yet. So he was speaking on Twitch and basically said, there's even something I know about that you can't get to unless you do something that I don't think anyone's going to work out. So he reckons that there's 2 hours of content and that he's one of few people that knows about it. So I'm presuming it's about Astarion.
Well, maybe
and it's some sort of little, if you make certain choices or do something, you'll maybe get there. But who knows what that might be?
We could maybe ask somebody, ask two people.
We could try.
Yeah. The other story is about streaming. Kick.
Yes. Well, you can definitely bring this up because you tweeted about it.
I did, and so Kick is like Twitch. If anybody doesn't know, it's like Twitch. But, it does a 95% sub split, so that when somebody pays £5 for a sub or whatever, you get £4.50 of it, or 95% would be like £4.75, won't it? So
I think you're wrong on the maths, but
am I?
95% of £5.
I think it's £4.75.
I mean, it's not £4.50.
No, it must be £4.75. Well, so if I type in 0.95 multiplied by 5, £4.75.
Okay, fine.
I was right.
I don't know maths.
No. So that is similar to Twitch. It actually uses Twitch's servers, I believe, or it uses its service. It is run by people who are backed by Stake, which I believe is like an online gambling casino thing. And it's pretty much a bit of a Wild West over there. It's not as bad as Rumble, which I think is, the Russell Brand area place of
Oh.
choice. But it is like Alex Jones, like those kind of absolute the worst of society over there. But no, Kick is where people who are pretty vile go. Like Aiden Ross is their poster boy, who was, I mean, you can just Google all the like why that guy is just a piece of shit. And yeah, just they were in the news quite well. They were trending quite recently,
Well,
like a week ago.
Just to say, like, part of the reason for that is that their moderation is not up to scratch.
Well, I was going to get to that part. Yeah,
Okay.
their moderation is not up to scratch. They don't really have any guidelines of what people are doing. I think XQC streamed the Super Bowl on there. And for some reason, I don't understand how he got away with it and hasn't been banned or sued to oblivion. But yeah, so it is pretty much a Wild West, but people go over there because of the high sub split and they all complain about Twitch. And like, to be honest, the stuff that's been going on, people have been going, well, you think Twitch is better? And I'm like, yes, I genuinely do. Twitch is way better than Kick. So anyway, they were in the news about a week ago because there was a clip that they had actually posted on Twitter, and it was Aiden Ross on there with some kind of, I think it might have been deep fake Andrew Tate.
Okay.
And then a deep fake of Kim Jong-un.
Right.
And like the Kick was streaming this and being like, hey, look how cool this is. And like, you're literally promoting Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Fuck off. However, the most recent thing is that there was somebody streaming themselves with a sex worker that they had paid and invited over. This was a guy called Ice Poseidon, who I believe is permanently banned on Twitch. I mean, every time I've read about him or heard about him, it's been some of the worst stuff. But it wasn't him, but it was somebody he was with, was on Kick, and they had a sex worker over, and he and her were kissing. Apparently she knew that there was a camera and she was okay with being filmed, but I don't think she was aware that she was being live streamed to potentially, thousands, hundreds of tens of thousands of people. And at one point she got a little bit spooked. Somebody messaged her saying that, yeah, you're on live stream to thousands of people. Also, there are two other people in the room, in the room next to you. And she decided to leave. And then as she left, the guy that she was with, not Ice Poseidon, but it was on his channel, put his hand on the door and like stopped it just briefly, but still like terrifying. And you should never ever do that. But she like managed to get out of there. There were a couple of them that were arrested, but apparently that was down to swatting, not because of that. But all the while that was happening, there was like one of the co-founders of Kick in the channel emoting, and like he donated $500 to the channel and was kind of just going along with it all. And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Can I just say the two people that were in the other room, one of them was Ice Poseidon. The other one was Sam Pepper, who was on Big Brother.
Random.
Like, now he's just kind of a edgelord YouTuber or Kick streamer, whatever, with millions of followers. But yeah, if you ever look at him and Big Brother, it's like, what the hell? How did he, well, I don't say if he fell morally, but I think he's making a decent living for himself. Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is disgusting. So, like, just don't use Kick. If that's the level of what's on there, like, just don't go on there. Do not use it.
Yeah.
It's awful. It is not a channel that deserves to be promoted in any way.
Or platform, yeah. The people that are still on it and they're trying to call it out, it's like, just admit you want the money. Just admit that maybe you weren't being discovered on Twitch, which is a very valid criticism. There's a lot of people on there. But there are other places you can go that aren't completely morally bankrupt, like Kick. Like, surely. And to the people that reply going, because like our friend like Radders posted about this, and there were people commenting saying like, oh, you really think Amazon care? And like they mistreat their workers and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, well, what they do, yeah, there are union people, pro-union for this, and they're fighting for that. And a lot of the people on Twitch do support that, but they don't have people kind of literally, taking advantage of sex workers or live streaming necessarily the Super Bowl without any repercussions, or doing some of the like really vile pranks on there. They're not doing that on Twitch and getting away with it. Someone got banned because their dog had a shit on stream. Genuinely true. They got a 24-hour ban because their dog had a shit. So yeah, there are definitely things on Twitch that shouldn't be on there, but generally speaking, they want to get to give the impression that they are supportive of marginal creators, and they try and pump up and promote those smaller people.
They do really push for safety and good moderation on Twitch.
And you've spoken to them before, haven't you?
Yeah, and safety is hugely important to them, and they appreciate that the internet can be used for all these different things, and there are these other platforms that are awful at this, and they appreciate that they want to create a safe space for people, and they don't always get it right, but they're at least trying, whereas these other places are just anyone can do anything on there, and it's absolutely horrific just because they want people to make money.
Yeah, and that's it. And Kick has put out a statement or a tweet 4 hours ago. There's incredible untapped potential in what live streaming has to offer. We're firm believers that the greatest days of live streaming are yet to come. With that said, community and public safety cannot be compromised in the process of making content. We're continuously learning where this balance sits and are making changes daily. We appreciate our community for the continuous feedback, both the good and the bad. We'll keep you updated on upcoming changes to community guidelines and subsequent enforcement measures.
I mean, that's bullshit. That could be anything.
That was not, what was that? And it's like, they're not even saying that this was wrong.
They haven't acknowledged it.
They haven't acknowledged it. They're not saying that this was wrong. They're just saying, we're currently learning where this balance sits. It's like the balance should be protecting people.
Yes, that should be very obvious.
Yeah, there's no balance in protecting people and free to do whatever the fuck you want. You protect people first. But so yeah, that they're getting completely dragged for that nothing statement. And I think genuinely, I know people who stream on Kick who have gone there from Twitch, and some of them are friends. But genuinely speaking, if they look at that and they're happy to kind of be on that platform, a platform where just recently one of the mods or one of the people that is affiliated with them was in the chat saying, what was it they said? Like, moderation, we don't have much moderation because... What was that thing? Somebody in the chat, like a staff member, was saying like, "Yeah, we don't have much moderation because that's one of the benefits of this place."
Yeah, and like no,
somebody asked them like, "Why are there so many trolls here?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, because of if we'd started kind of banning them, they'd go somewhere else."
Yeah.
So if you are on Kick, yes, I know it sucks to be kind of not noticed on places like Twitch when there are so many people on there. But look at your morals. Like, genuinely, are you happy to be streaming on somewhere where, like, Aiden Ross is a poster boy of the channel and the actual people behind it just don't give a shit about you?
And think about your community and keeping your community safe.
And what kind of community you're going to be fostering over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. So that is the streamer. We are a streaming podcast as well as video games. We don't necessarily always talk about it, but... If you're here,
it's newsworthy.
If you're here only for the video games, you might be like, "What? Oh, what the fuck is going on in the streaming world?" And yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's often a mess.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that was the headlines for this week, and that was everything for this week.
It was for this week, but next week we've got something a little bit special.
We do. So some of you might watch us and know us for. I know. Yeah. I know. I can see. I'm just.
Looking around,
to everyone who's here.
All the thousands.
People might know us for interviewing Ben Starr of Final Fantasy 16 fame, and we are going to be doing some more interviews, more podcasts with special guests from the industry, and we have one next week.
Who is going to be joining us next week?
We have 2 voice actors from Baldur's Gate 3.
Interview with a vampire?
What?
Not Astarion.
No, not Astarion.
So that would be a good name for it.
I see what you've done there.
Yeah.
We have Jennifer English, who is the voice of Shadowheart, and Devora Wild, who is the voice of Lae'zel.
Which is brilliant because those two hate each other in Baldur's Gate, so that's going to be fun. However, like, we are both in Act 1 of Baldur's Gate. I think we both love it. Would you say you loved it?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't played it since before Gamescom, so I've had other things to play, and I really need to get back to it. But I've really loved what I played. Yeah,
me playing the Be a Dick playthrough has been like pretty much it's given me like a complete invigoration of playing it again. Like I actually recently opened it up on the PS5 because I'm playing on on PC, but I just opened it up on the PS5 just to see what it was like on there because I have it on there, and I didn't want to play any of the main quest because I want to do that on stream. So I was going through like all the spells, kind of trying to learn things, and maybe if I needed to respec anything. So just kind of the boring stuff that I don't really want to do on stream. But I was like, oh, I just want to play more of it. Like so, I'm very much looking forward to talking to them. But because we're quite early on, we know the characters, but there are maybe questions that people want to ask them that maybe are not things that we would necessarily know about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to have our own questions, but if you also have questions, then let us know. Please send them to us. You can do that in Discord, I guess is probably the best place.
Yeah, put it in the Discord, or I don't know if I'm going to put a tweet out, potentially. Maybe my DMs are open. You don't need me to be following you for it. So if you go to biggestbenus1 on Twitter and go and just send me a DM if you've got any questions, we can add it. Because I know not everybody that listens to us is in the Discord.
Also true. But if you want to be on Discord, it is discord.gg/biggestbenus.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes,
there
I've
you
learned
go.
After all this time.
Discord.gg.
There is a channel there for swapping joysticks, so people should put their questions there.
Yes.
And we will endeavour to ask as many as we can in the time that we have allotted.
Yes, I'm very, very much looking forward to it. This will be our second big interview.
Yeah.
We've had people on before that we've, gone with oh my God, I know her, it's Kelsey. I was like, I know her from her handle, not Jean Grey, who apparently is someone from Marvel.
Yes, well done.
There we go. Kelsey from Annapurna, that's the one.
And we've had other streamers on as well.
Exactly.
Our good friends. But no, we're going to be doing more industry interviews. We've got some others lined up as well, which we will keep secret for now, I think.
But one of them is related to
Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
So that's going to be fun. And we'll hopefully be a little bit different because it's not a voice actor.
Yes, I know. We love voice actors. We're friends with, we bump into them. They're nearly every voice actor we've met is a larger than life personality that is amazing on a podcast. But yeah, we're going to be mixing it with people from all over the industry. And also something else that I haven't actually suggested to Ed yet, but I will do that after the stream rather than after the podcast.
Oh, well, I've got that to look forward to.
You do.
Very nice.
So yeah, that is that.
Yeah.
And where can people find us?
You can find me at ed_nights.
All right, it's all about you, Ed.
It's all about me on Twitch, on social media, whatever else. And you are at
biggestbenus1 on Twitter. Although apparently Elon has said that he's going to free up inactive accounts.
He's been saying that for a long time.
But apparently he said it again.
Oh.
So if it happens and I can get Biggest Benus, I will buy a year of Twitter, but I'm not going to.
No, you're not going to do that.
No, but yeah, if he does that, I'm going to be very happy and I'll be like, wow, one thing that you've done that was good.
Good.
Something that, Tumblr did recently. If you've got I got Biggest Benus on Tumblr. Because they were like I think anybody that hadn't logged in within 2 years or something had it removed. Sure. But anyway, yeah. So find me Biggest Benus pretty much everywhere. Twitch, mainly Twitch and YouTube, and Twitter is Biggest Benus1. That's where I put most of my content. Also, don't forget to check out gosh.org/stream. If you want to take part in Stream It Beat It, we've got some cool names. We've just had confirmation of Milky Queen Idol, who is an amazing VTuber, just a bloody lovely person. I watched her playing, was it the Samba de Amigo? We were just watching kind of, just entranced at how good she is. And one of the things she's going to do is Phasmophobia in VR on the ultimate difficulty.
Ooh.
So
good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Yes, I will be watching and hearing the screams. And also, I've got a bunch of things lined up for October as well for Stream It Beat It, raising money. We'll be doing a baking stream at some point.
I don't know what we're baking.
No, probably a cake.
I say we, I mean me, probably.
I'll hold the camera. Baking stream, I'm going to be doing Animal Crossing. We'll have the charity garden in there. I've got 2 horror streams, one at the beginning, one at the end of October. And I'm also at some point going to do a kind of marathon stream playing Spider-Man Remastered from start to finish once I've worked out how to import my save file from the PS4 version, because you can then do New Game Plus and I should be able to go through it a bit faster than the 35 hours that it says.
Yes.
Um,
Also, go to swappingjoysticks.com, and there you can find all of our old podcasts. They're also on YouTube, so you can watch us, you can listen to us. Everything's there. Swappingjoysticks.com.
Thank you. Brilliant. Well, thanks very much for watching, and enjoy your meal.
Do and send us your questions next week for the Baldur's Gate voice actors.
I just presumed people were eating, listening to this.
Well, they might be driving. They might be doing other things.
That's the end.
Keep that to yourself.
No, don't. Tell us. All right. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Or listening. Bye.